Let's talk about Acworth, Georgia. Hey, if you're thinking about moving to Acworth or Atlanta, or you just want to know what it's like to live here, feel free to call or text me anytime. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you so much to everyone who's reached out. My favorite thing to do in the world is helping people get acquainted with my hometown. Let's get right into the video. Let's talk about some of the areas in the city of Acworth, and then we'll talk about the homes and neighborhoods and home values in this city. Acworth is located about 32 miles north of Midtown Atlanta. It's about as far a city as we talk about on this channel. It's pretty rural and quite a ways north of the city of Atlanta. Highway 41 is a main road that runs through the city of Acworth. There isn't a lot of residential areas on 41. It's mostly commercial with some restaurants and many big box stores like Home Depot or Target. Highway 41 is a pretty long road, so much of Acworth is very close to this highway. But the thing about Acworth is that it has been growing a lot lately, especially as home values have been rising so dramatically. More and more people are moving farther away from the city of Atlanta, where the home values are lower. And Acworth is a very good example of a city that has grown in popularity due to this rise in home values. Acworth is still in Cobb County like Marietta or Kennesaw, but it is the farthest north city of Cobb County. So it still has that suburban feel like many of the cities that we talk about, but you'll find that in Acworth, there's more land or lot sizes associated with each home. The downtown part of Acworth, or the city center, is on Main Street and is a very unique area and has a very trendy feel to it. It's clear that the city was developed decades ago, but many of the businesses have adapted very well to the changing economy, and there are some really good finds in downtown Acworth. For example, 1885 Grill is a great restaurant there. Also, Henry's is a super cool restaurant. It has this Louisiana vibe to it, which gives it a great atmosphere. Henry's is probably the most popular or well-known restaurant in Acworth. Many times when you mention the city of Acworth, many people in that area will associate it with the restaurant Henry's. So certainly somewhere that you want to try out if you're ever in that area. Overall, the feel of downtown Acworth is super fun. The combination of old buildings and this old city, but with new businesses and new development, makes it a super interesting and really describes very well the heart of Acworth. Just a couple miles north of downtown Acworth is Lake Acworth. Acworth isn't a very big city, so Lake Acworth is only about 90 acres and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a very well-kept part of the city. It's super common to find people there fishing or boating, swimming in the lake. Also, along the lake is Cobble Park. This park is a great place to bring the family or just hang out, but one thing that makes this park so unique is that it's not very crowded. It's not like a park that you would find in Atlanta or even Marietta. Because Acworth is a bit more rural than some of these other cities, you'll find that many of the popular locations in Acworth aren't overcrowded. And that really is one of the highlights of this city and why many people want to live here. You're not going to find traffic jams in Acworth or long lines in the grocery store. And so that also goes for the parks. Cobble Park has some green space to hang out, a playground, boat ramps for getting on and off the lake, and it's a very well-kept public park and a great place to spend time. Also important to note is that Lake Acworth is part of a much larger lake, Lake Allatoona. Some of Lake Allatoona is in Acworth, so there's plenty of access points to this lake from the city. Lake Allatoona is about 12,000 acres and is one of the most prominent features of this part of Georgia. Tons of parks around Lake Allatoona and access points for swimming, boating, fishing. Lake Allatoona is one of the biggest lakes in all of Georgia and certainly one of the highlights for the city of Acworth. The school district in Acworth is pretty good as well. School ratings are very subjective, but according to greatschools.org, the elementary schools in Acworth are Ford Elementary School, which is a 9 out of 10, Frey Elementary School, which is an 8 out of 10, and Pickett's Mill Elementary, which is an 8 out of 10. The middle schools are Barber Middle, a 9 out of 10, Durham Middle, an 8 out of 10, and the high school in Acworth is Allatoona High School, which is rated an 8 out of 10 and recently received a Gold College Success Award from greatschools.org. This neighborhood is McClure Farms neighborhood, and the average size home in this neighborhood is about 4,000 square feet, and the lot sizes are around half an acre, so plenty of space between homes and plenty of yard with each home. Finding a nice sized yard in Marietta or Alpharetta can be pretty difficult, so having half an acre within 30 miles of Atlanta is pretty awesome. Most of these homes are less than 10 years old, so it's very safe to assume that there would be little to no issues with the construction of these homes. The average home value in McClure Farms is around $650,000 to $700,000, and the HOA includes a pool, pool house, and some other cool features like that the HOA maintains the sidewalks and the street lights. The annual membership for this HOA is about $700 per year. This next neighborhood is not like a typical neighborhood that we talk about on this channel. These homes are in the historical part of Acworth, not part of an HOA, but many people who choose to live here are choosing these homes because of their proximity to the lake and to downtown Acworth. Many of these homes were built in the early 1900s and average about 1,500 square feet with lot sizes of about half an acre. The homes have lots of character in this area, lots of charm, and that's something that you don't really find in newer homes. The average home value in historic Acworth is about $400,000. This next neighborhood is Fairway Station. It's less than 5 minutes from Lake Acworth off of Acworth Due West Road. These homes average around 2,800 square feet and the lot sizes are around a quarter of an acre. The average home values in this neighborhood is between $400,000 and $450,000, and there is no HOA. When it comes to homeowners associations, most people tend to have a preference about whether or not they would like to have one. There's definitely pros and cons to HOAs. Obviously, if the HOA includes amenities like a pool or golf course, something like that, then that's a huge plus. Also, HOAs help with maintaining home values by asking residents to comply with certain restrictions on how they maintain their home. Some HOAs will not allow residents to paint their home a certain color in an attempt to keep like a uniform look throughout the neighborhood. So some people are cool with that. They don't mind if the HOA is there helping out with the home values in the neighborhood. And some people don't want to live in a neighborhood with an HOA. And that's totally fine. It really just depends on a person's preference. Another good example of that is if you own a boat or a camper, many times an HOA will determine how you can store that boat or camper. They'll say something like it can't be parked in the driveway, so you would have to keep it in a garage or in the backyard. So people with a boat or camper will oftentimes prefer to live in a neighborhood that doesn't have an HOA. Acworth is a super cool city, a lot of charm, a lot of character. Another city that's very similar but a little closer to the city of Atlanta is Kennesaw, Georgia. If you want to know more about Kennesaw, click on this video. I'll see you there.